And welcome to the Bulloch Sports Report. I'm Josh Aubrey. Plenty to get to in this week's show as the area high school football teams get the season underway, and all four Bulloch County teams is going to be inter-county battles for the Statesboro Blue Devils. They'll be hosting Southeast Bulloch. Last year they came within a touchdown of winning that game. 2 years ago, Southeast on the losing end of that game, and that was within a touchdown, so this one should be a good one. It's going to be taking place at Womack Field. We'll hear from Statesboro head coach Matt Dobson and Southeast Bulloch head coach Jarrard in just a bit. As for the Bulloch Academy Gators and the Portal Panthers, they will square off once again in the Irk Russell Classic. That game, the late game, with Beach and Calvary going at the first game at 6 o'clock. For the Panthers, they were able to get closer than anyone did against Bulloch Academy last year and route to Bulloch Academy State Championship. They lost by 1 point. We'll hear from head coach from the Bulloch Academy Gators, Aaron Phillips, and a few of his players in just a bit. As for the Georgia Southern Eagles, they get one step closer to their season opener at Fresno State. They held their first scrimmage of the preseason, and then they also held their first and only practice on the banks of beautiful Eagle Creek. We'll hear from head coach Clay Helton and a couple of the players. All that and more coming up on the Bulloch Sports Report. And a reminder before we go to break, hopefully you'll never be in an accident, but if so, please give our friends at the Sullivan Law Firm a call, 912-489-8888, or online at thesullivanlawfirm.com. This segment of the Bulloch Sports Report is brought to you in part by Jarrard Pre-Owned Vehicles, quality cars, trucks, and SUVs right here in Statesboro, Georgia. Voted best place to buy 10 years running. 2330 Northside Drive West. Well, the Georgia Southern Eagles held their first scrimmage of the preseason this past Saturday as part of their Fan Fest over at Paulson Stadium, taking place in the evening before a good crowd. Head coach Clay Helton excited about the way things turned out.
Really needed a dose of reality just to put the ball down. An unbelievable atmosphere to have our Eagle Nation and have the fans out here today to get a little performance anxiety. You know, out for 34 newcomers, it's their first time in front of Eagle Nation and having a chance to get out here and play some real live ball. I thought it started off really well. I really did. You know, we got to play our ones for basically that first quarter, mix in our twos and threes in the second quarter. But you get to see how fast the game is, the communication, how high a level it has to be at. I thought there were some great plays made today on both sides of the ball. It's a great start. It's a great opening start. We get to do this again next Saturday, which is going to be really important, and see how we grow from this preseason game 1 to preseason game 2. The efficiency, I thought, with the first group was really at a high level. You know, it's all this offense is about taking what they give you, and having a second guy, you could see the reps, you could see the experience, you see the maturity of that first group, and it helps you sleep at night as a head coach. But glad that JC got those reps, was able to lead a touchdown drive right off the bat. Great to see Turner and Tyler come in and be able to do that, and some young bucks at quarterback come in and drive the ball down. So overall, a good night for the Qs.
Well, quarterback J.C. French, back for his second year as a starter at Georgia Southern, was able to lead the first team unit down the field for a touchdown on his first drive. We had a chance to talk to him about how he felt things went in the first scrimmage.
I felt great. Obviously, coming to my second year, it's helped me a lot, especially with the guys returning. I'm super proud of them, and also I thought Turner and Buds did a really good job today. So they've been pushing me in fall camp, which has been awesome. We all like to help each other, so I think it's going to be a really good year for all of us. It just felt like bread and butter. We've been practicing really hard all fall camp. Thank gosh we haven't lost many to the transfer portal, so I think that helps. We all have our chemistry. And we're just furthering it. So I think that was super, super special that we could keep those guys.
Well, the Georgia Southern Eagles were scheduled to have a practice at beautiful Eagle Creek a couple weeks ago. Weather forced that one to go back indoors for practice, and so this past Tuesday they held their first and only practice that they will be having on the banks of beautiful Eagle Creek. We had a chance to talk to head coach Clay Helton about how he felt it was important to keep this tradition going.
Such a tradition, and when I first took the job, I remember saying, hey, we're going to honor all traditions, and this is the foundation of this football program all the way back from 1981 when it started, and being able to get out here and allow Tracy Ham and Adrian Peterson to say to our team what it means before practice, and then our guys come out here and execute and compete at an extremely high level. This is holy ground. This is what we're all about. This is toughness. This is discipline. This is being united as a team, and there's no place better to do it than beautiful Eagle Creek. We're sitting here basically almost about halfway through. Still got a half to go, and we have this huge scrimmage that's coming up on Saturday. I thought the Saturday scrimmage was really important to us this last Saturday, being able to actually put the ball down, play a half of a football game, have fans in the stand, get some performance anxiety out, and now it's about really the communication, being able to play fast, and being able to do our assignments from A to B, from the beginning of the scrimmage to the end, as well as get in our other two phases of kickoff return and punt return. So you'll see another half of football, but with all four phases, and hope even faster communication, faster processing, and this preseason game too is really important to us this Saturday.
And the Eagles will hold their second scrimmage of the preseason coming up Saturday afternoon at Paulson Stadium. All right, stay with us. High school action and previews coming up next. This segment of the Bulloch Sports Report is brought to you in part by Pojo's Country Store, 6 locations serving Southeast Georgia. Fast, friendly, and fresh. Pojo's Country Store. Well, the Statesboro Blue Devils missed out on the playoffs 2 years ago under head coach Matt Dobson. They made it to the second round of the state, but last year 4-6, and things kind of got off to a rocky start as they fell to Southeast Bulloch. This time around, head coach Matt Dobson has stressed to his team the importance of starting off the season strong, which begins at Womack Field starting Friday night against Southeast Bulloch. We had a chance to talk with Matt Dobson and a couple of players about their thoughts of the game coming up against Southeast at home.
In the grand scheme of things, these games don't really mean much as far as your postseason hopes and your goals there, but certainly from a pride perspective, for the kids, the bragging rights, it matters. I think these types of games are what high school football really is about, the rivalry games and the in-town teams playing each other, kids that grew up together and that know each other. That's what makes high school football fun, and excited for that on Friday night.
Last year, you guys had a turnover early on that kind of cost you the game. How do you go into this one? And I'm sure the guys are pretty focused on trying to get back from last year.
Yeah, I think our guys are focused for sure. They've listened to it on Friday night will be 365 days, and the other side's had the bragging rights, and so they're focused. I think we just have to follow our process and our plan to win. We talked about it already this week, and we'll continue to talk about it every day of winning the turnover margin. Obviously, last year, like you mentioned, that was a big deal, but we have to win the turnover margin. That's every game, but especially in a game with limited possessions when both sides are going to run the football. Got to win the turnover margin, and then I think another thing that was really important last year, the last 2 years, is not beating ourselves with penalties and costly mistakes. We had some other plays that weren't necessarily turnovers, but we snapped the ball over our quarterback's head a couple times, and then got a lot of penalties at different times. And so just can't beat ourselves, and then defensively we can't give up big plays. We gotta rally to the football, get guys to the ground, not give up those chunk plays. They're big up front on both sides of the football, and their two backs are really good. Those starting two backs, Murphy and Smith are two great players. They're two of the best backs that we're going to see all year, and so we got to get them stopped before they get started. They get out in open space, they're trouble to bring down, hard to bring down, and so definitely that's a focal point of what they do offensively. Defensively, they're fundamentally sound. They're going to try to limit big plays. They do a good job of keeping everything in front and just being fundamentally sound and making you earn that stuff. And and so we gotta just stay on schedule and stay on pace and not get the penalty like we mentioned earlier.
A win Friday would also probably give you guys some momentum going through the rest of the season, which would be big for you as well.
Yeah, I think anytime you can win that first one, get your guys' confidence up, and once again, being a rivalry game, being kids, the bragging right part, I think is big for kids' confidence. and like we've talked about in the off season, we got to be ready to go week 3 for region play, right? And so these first 2 non-region games, there's certainly a piece to build our confidence and then find the right pieces. But yeah, certainly we want to get off to a hot start in region play, and I think the better hot start you can get off to in non-region play is just going to help that with the region play.
A lot of people would say, why keep this game going, because Statesboro really doesn't have a lot to gain. If you win, you're supposed to win, you're the bigger school. If you lose, then oh no, what's going on?
For us, it's a great opponent. I mean, Southeast Bulloch is, they've had some good teams way back in the day, but like right now, I feel like they're at the peak of what they've done, from a consistency standpoint. 10 win seasons, 2 of the last 3 years. So quality opponent, and then this is what high school football is all about for kids. To me, high school football, yes, we want to win, we want to go in the playoffs and do those things, but like the experience part of high school football is what's so important, and there's no better experience than a rivalry game that's going to be packed out on a Friday night when, with Bulloch Academy and Portal playing on Saturday night, we're the only game in town. There's going to be tons of people here. And this is what high school football is all about. There's other places in this state, other places in the country where recruiting is running rampant and all these other things going on. And in Bulloch County, we still got some of that true sense of community. We're still a pure form of high school athletics here. And so once again, this is just what high school football is all about. These rivalry games, last 2 years, been decided by 5 points. This is what it's all about. And so from an experience standpoint, we're going to continue to do this as long as they're willing to.
Here with Statesboro quarterback Beckham Jarrard, and Beckham, you guys have had a chance to have a scrimmage. You've had a lot of time together over the summer. How do you think the team looks right now?
I think we look good. We've improved since last year. The scrimmage this past Friday went really good. I feel like our offense is a lot better this year, and our defense is a lot better this year too. So I feel like it'll be a good game.
How do you feel like you've improved?
Throwing on the run and reading the defenses and like getting more in the play calls and knowing the playbook this year.
You got Southeast Bulloch coming up. I know bragging rights is kind of a big deal, even though this isn't a region game. You've got them at your place. You lost last year to them at their place. How are you feeling about this Friday night?
I'm feeling good. Our team's looking good. We've improved a ton. I'm just excited to play and hopefully beat them.
What do you feel like you have to do in order to do that?
Not turn the ball over, play consistent, and play to our rules.
We're here with Rashad Shavers, and Rashad, what are you feeling about the strengths of the team right now? You've had a scrimmage game to kind of base that on, and you've been together over the summer. What do you feel like the strengths are?
Strengths is like offense moving the ball consistently, defensively, getting off the field fast, and we work better as a team this year.
Goals for this year, what do you think you guys have right now?
Goals, win every game.
All right, well, it all starts this Friday night. You've got Southeast Bulloch. Last year, you guys lost to them at their place. This time around, you get them here at Womack Field. How are you feeling?
I feel great.
What do you think the game is going to come down to?
It'll come down who make the least amount of mistakes.
And how do you feel like your team goes up against their team as far as matchups?
I feel like we the better team. I feel like everybody do their job. We the better team.
Is it important, even though it's not a region game, to kind of set the tone for the season with a win over Southeast Bulloch? And if so, why do you think that's important?
Yeah, it's important because it's just a pride. It's all about the pride and the team too, the team morale. And losing the first game of the season, nah.
The Bulloch Sports Report is brought to you in part thanks to Morris Bank, proud sponsor of our Player of the Week segment. This week featuring Statesboro softball standout Emma Patterson and Bulloch Academy quarterback Sam Hubbard. Well, last year, the Southeast Bulloch and Statesboro game was decided within a touchdown, and it was Southeast coming on top, and they went on to have a great season with 10 victories, advanced to the state quarterfinals in AAA. This time around, Head coach Jarrard feels like it's important once again to get off on the right foot, and he thinks his team goes in pretty good shape.
Well, overall, Friday was really good for us. Our scrimmage versus Burke, a really good physical football team, well coached. Did some good things overall, but we got a long way to go to be game ready for this Friday. We rotated a lot of kids on purpose, even against their ones. We had to find out who could and who couldn't be ready for Friday night. So we got a really good evaluation right now, and I feel good about that. But we still have a lot of things to clean up. Playing Statesboro is exciting from a standpoint of, what way to get excited about the season. Going to be a great atmosphere, great crowd, really good game against a quality opponent. And so I look forward to see what our guys do on Friday.
What do you like about what you've seen from your team, and what do you think you still need to kind of work on or a little concern going into the first game?
I think overall, our kids are trying to do, I see effort and I see them wanting to do the right thing. They're trying to execute. They're trying to play hard. They're trying to be physical. And in the beginning of the season, if you get those things, you're satisfied. Things that I'm not real excited about. We had some missed tackles Friday night that we need to clean up. Still got some assignment bust offensively. Defensively, I'd say we really need the backup players, our twos, the guys that are going to spot play. They really got to take a next step for us to offer some depth. That's the thing I was probably the most disappointed with Friday is how did our twos do against their ones. There were some surprises from our threes, and there's going to be some depth chart changes accordingly. But that was probably the things I'm looking. The other thing I was really happy about, we didn't turn the ball over, but one time I think late in the third quarter we had one interception.
When you look at Statesboro, what do you see from them?
Well, first starts with a quarterback. I think he was really good last year as a freshman. I think he's even better. Really good passer, very accurate. Throws on time, knows where he's going with the ball. So he's a really good football player. I think their offensive line is big, and that's going to be a little mismatch probably for us. We're not super big on the defensive line. Defensively, there's a couple guys that stand out to me that have length and have got some twitch. The nose guard, I think, is really good. He's been playing a couple years as a defensive lineman. Number 0, the linebacker, I think, is a really good player. Number 8 is a really long defensive end. Those guys really stand out. They're always going to have a little more length than we have, and like right now, again, their offensive line has got some size, and I like the running back. He played receiver, I think, last year, and really runs hard. We're gonna have to tackle him, do a good job of that because he won't go down with an arm tackle.
So it's been down to the wire, like you said, the last couple of years. It's kind of come down to turnovers a little bit as well. Talked to Coach Dobson about, as Statesboro being a little bigger school, what do you have to gain by playing Southeast? But as Southeast Bulloch, what do you have to gain by playing Statesboro, and how do you feel like this helps kind of jumpstart you for the rest of your season, which is a lot of region games?
Well, number one, I think it's great for the communities of Brooklet and Statesboro and the surrounding Brooklet area that is Southeast. What a great way to be excited about football season from a school standpoint, pride, and you get everybody out to the game on Friday night. I think it's a tremendous atmosphere, which our kids hopefully get used to playing in if you're talking about getting in the playoffs. And it gets us game ready for our region play, but certainly the top guys in our region, no disrespect to anybody, but you got to always look at Calvary, Jenkins, and Long, and then Liberty. Those are all really good football teams, and so we have to find out the most we can find out about our team in a non-region game. And I think Statesboro is a game to do that with. They're going to be well coached. Their kids are going to play really hard. It's going to be like it was last year, a great atmosphere. So you learn a lot about your kids and how they handle those stressful situations.
I got running back Colby Smith here from Southeast Bulloch. Colby, how are you feeling about this game? You finally get a chance to square off in a real game, had a scrimmage. How do you feel like you guys look right now?
I think we definitely came out and it felt good to hit somebody else other than our own team in practice, but we definitely got some things to work on, both offense and defense.
Where do you feel like you guys need a little work?
I would say up front, the O-line, that's going to be – they're going to get better over time, getting their pads low, and we knew that going into the game. And the running backs have to work on their track and just, as a whole offense, getting used to the rhythm of the game.
We got Statesboro High coming up on Friday night. I know you guys are excited. 2 years ago, they beat you in a close game. Last year, you guys beat them in a close game. How are you guys feeling about the game, first of all, overall?
Really excited. Just playing Statesboro, we know most of those guys, and we know it's going to be a good game. And hopefully we can just go out there and perform for everybody.
When you look out there and see them on tape, what kind of stands out to you?
They're gonna throw the ball a lot, and they've got a pretty good running back, so it's gonna be tough to stop him. But really, just whatever they throw at us, we're ready for it.
You get bragging rights. You know how big that is around this town when you're in a small town like this. How's it been like to have it for the past year?
It's really good, but really I'm just focused on the next game. So
All right, we got defensive lineman Cam Miller with us. And Cam, tell me a little bit about how you feel about where the team is right now. You've had a scrimmage. You've had summer underneath you. How do you feel the Southeast Bulloch Yellow Jackets look right now?
Yes, sir. Right now, I think we're doing pretty good right now. We finally got to hit somebody. It really felt good. And get our feet back wet, trying to get back in game speed condition. So it really felt good to go out there and hit somebody.
Defensively, where do you feel like the strengths are on this team?
Well, we have a lot of experience coming back, so we got experience all around, scattered around. But I really love our linebacker core. They're really good. I like them.
All right, well, you got Statesboro High to kick off the season. It doesn't get much more exciting than that. How are y'all feeling about the big games Friday night?
That's a big rivalry game that we had. Yeah, I think I'm really excited for that game. How should I put it? Everybody's more dialed in this week, and you know how it is, how the blood is. So I'm really looking forward for this week.
When you see them on tape, what kind of stands out? What do you think you guys have to do in order to win?
Well, like Kobe said, they do have a really good running back. And they do love their screens. Their O-line's always big every year. But I think we can really handle them. I think we're going to be good all around.
The Bulloch Sports Report is brought to you in part by Pope Construction, building opportunities for the future. Well, last season, the Bulloch Academy Gators had a perfect season, 12-0, and went on to capture the GIAA State Championship. The only close game that they had for the regular season took place against the Portal Panthers. Once again, the two teams will square off in the Irk Russell Classic at Paulson Stadium. We had a chance to talk with Bulloch Academy head coach Aaron Phillips and a couple of his players about how they feel going into this game and the excitement of playing there at Paulson Stadium.
Going into Portal, I feel really good. We're healthy. We get A.K. Watkins back, and Jack Lanier. He's going to be able to play this week, and so I feel really good about it. I mean, are we still making some very youthful mistakes? Yes. But at the same time, those younger guys, those juniors and sophomores, they are playing their tails off. I mean, they're playing with a ton of energy and effort, and they're just getting after it. And, where they lack a little bit physically right now in comparison to the 300-pounders we had last year, they make up for it by just getting after it. So I'm so proud of those guys. And we were very vanilla offensively and defensively the last two scrimmages. And, I think when we turn it up, we could be dangerous.
We've got the Irk Russell Classic coming up Saturday night. Always an exciting chance to get out there in Paulson Stadium and against a familiar foe that you've seen the past couple seasons.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity. I mean, it's, being right here in Statesboro, getting to play at the Classic. It's an honor. It's big for our school. Our kids, they're fired up about it. We get to play Portal, which has kind of turned into a little rivalry from across town. I hope we get to keep that going for a lot of years to come. But we're excited. They do a good job over there. They had some good athletes, and they're big on the hoof. And so it'll be a great challenge for us. They'll be a lot like Jenkins County. So, it's good to play those guys early on. I mean, I told our kids when we played Jenkins, that team's won 10 games the last 2 years and been to the Elite Eight. I said, you got a Portal team that Jenkins won 10 games, and in 23 they won the region, that region they're in, and so it's good for us to play those guys. Those guys have kids that can run, and they're going to have good size, and I think it makes us better later on.
All right, here with Billy Crider from the Bulloch Academy Gators receiver. Billy, you guys have had a chance to have a couple scrimmages under your belt as you get ready for the first game. What do you like about your team on offense and defense?
I really like our quarterback, Sam Hubbard. He's a starter from last year. I think he's done very well in the scrimmages. And, of course, last year he did a good job. He's going to do great against Portland the rest of the season. Even though we lost a couple guys at our line, I think we have some great O-linemen coming in. And, of course, we have some starters, too, last year. Really like our scheme we're running with the wing team and passing more.
You've got the Irk Russell Classic coming up this Saturday. How are you guys feeling about it going into this thing?
We're feeling great. We got some things to work on, but we're going to get there. This week's going to be a great week of preparation, and I can't wait to play.
As far as going up against Portal, you've seen some of them on tape. What do you see that stands out on the Portal Panthers?
There's a great team. They got a new quarterback. Last year they played a great game. It was a close game. Luckily we won. Hopefully we do it again, and I can't wait to play them.
Here with Griff Sumner, defensive end, lineman and offensive lineman. Griff, tell me a little bit about what you like about your team right now.
I like everything about us. We're quick and we come off the ball hard, and I feel like if you line up against us, you better be ready to get hit in the mouth or else it'll be a long night for you. Defense, we got some things to work on, but that will come as the season goes on. And so, yeah.
Do you feel like you guys got better from the first scrimmage to the next one?
I feel like we've definitely gotten better on offense and defense. Offense, we're moving quick, passing the ball, everything's looking good. Still got some things to work on defense, but it'll get there.
All right, well, you got the official season opener coming up in the Irk Russell Classic Saturday. I'm sure you're excited to get there. You've been on that field and around the field much of your life. How do you feel about playing?
I'm excited. Last year I was on the sideline because I was a freshman and didn't get to play. But this year I should get a lot of playing time, and it's going to be cool playing again in the stadium, and hopefully we come out with a win.
As far as your opponent, you got the Portal Panthers. What do you know about them? What do you expect on Friday or Saturday?
They're big and they're quick, so we're going to have to tackle them and hit them low. And, yeah, it's going to be a good game.
And that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. We thank you for joining us and hope to see you again next week.